I had no business in the peppermint.
You was there. I seen you.
I was 16 when I started going to the Peppermint Lounge. I won my first talent show at the Peppermint.
Wow.
I was 16 years old and I did A House Is Not a Home by Luther Vandross.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes, I do remember.
I was 16 and they had people like Sam Jones and Valerie Adams and all those people. And they were like, who is this little nappy-headed boy? C.C. Rogers. This was before he did Someday.
Yes.
And they were like, who is this this man? And they didn't know I was 16. I was only 16 years old.
I didn't know you were 16.
I was 16 years old. And I did A House Is Not a Home by Luther Vandross. And remember the host, Chuck-a-Luck?
Yes.
Remember Chuck-a-Luck? He said, I don't know who this guy is. He said, but he's going to be a star one day. He said that to me. It was such a blessing. I think the thing that I loved about the Peppermint so much is that they were so open.
Yes.
And that they were willing to put anybody on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't mean that as a
they were warm.
I'm not trying to be facetious or
they had no problem bringing in new artists. And
it was wonderful.
Yes.
And they kind of opened up the door for me to do Luther. And I mean, they loved it. I did A House Not a Home. And then they featured me in the ballroom one year. They didn't know how old I was until I told them. You know, and I did a show over there in the ballroom with, I think it was Ray Goodman and Brown, and they had the Escorts and a couple of other people, and they featured me, and I did some Luther stuff, and because I wanted to be the next Luther. That was my dream. I wanted to do the R&B and the pop thing. I was listening to people like The System and Don't Disturb This Groove. Stuff like that. You know, I wanted to be the next, you know, I don't know. I just
it did happen because the next thing I know, I mean, and I'm from New York. I came to the Peppermint Lounge twice. Yeah, twice, because I know that's how I knew it was the bomb, because I got it all the way in Queens and they were like, okay, if you're gonna sing, you need to go to the Peppermint Lounge. You need to go see so and so. And I was like, okay. I was like, that's Jersey. You know, Jersey for somebody from Brooklyn. I was like, okay. But it was magnanimous. But shortly after that, that's when you really hit me, because that's when I was about, but anyway, early on the club scene, nice young youth in the club, and that's when we got to hear you with those beautiful young men, and you were singing your face off with 10 City, and I was like, all I heard was, I was like, oh, wait a minute, because it wasn't Sylvester. You know what I mean? Really. And I was like, who is that? And they were like, that's 10 City, and they got a lead singer, his name is Kenny Bobien. What? So you ushered into a whole, you made a nice left turn.
What you say? We didn't hear you.
I said they think I was Byron Stingler.
Yeah, no, it was amazing.
A lot of people thought of it.
Well, listen, what would you have?
I sang background on that first album, The Foundation, with That's the Way Love Is. Suspicious. Remember Suspicious? What are we gonna do? You don't trust in me. I don't trust in you. Suspicious.
I have those records on wax.
I actually did one of those songs over on that album. I had an album that came out in 2000 on the Simon and Wax label called Bless, a gospel dance theory. And that album released songs like Father and How I Feel and Blessed. You know? And I did a 10 City song over on that album called Superficial People. Do you guys remember that? Yeah. Always smiling in your face. But when you turn around, that smile is soon erased. You know? You know, my favorite part of the song is I thought you were real. I like people I can feel. That's right. But there's a hole in your soul.
Go off.
Yeah. you don't want to deal with nobody when there's a hole in their soul.
No, absolutely not.
And it was a wonderful experience. What is that? Superficial people?
Superficial people, and every time that I've introduced you, you would, because and I know it's the promoters, and when they request you, they want you to say either "You are my friend," "I shall not be moved," "Father," and now you'll get the light and all the rest of that. But superficial people is the one that I don't know if you remember, but anytime people with you, could you sing superficial people? Because that is the one that like touches me the most. That's the one that it's like the sleeper song.
Right.
Out of your whole cachet of music, the one that just touches my spirit. That's the one.
You are my friend.
You are my friend, but superficial people. I mean, it's the antithesis of you are my friend.
Yes.
Superficial people.
Yes.
It's the complete opposite. So you've covered, the range of human experience and interaction with those two songs. Either you are my friend or you one of the superficial people.
I wanted to just a little sidebar. Gospel is your background, Kenny, and it's starting to make a real it's starting to make noise in the community. And no matter what you say, you don't know. Like back in the day, we thought, oh no, you can't play gospel in the club. That's God gonna come down and you're gonna burn in hell. How do you feel about the gospel music making a comeback and we reaching everybody, whether it be in the clubs, no matter where? How do you feel about gospel being played?
I'm glad you asked me that. I had an experience when I was recording the Blessed album, and there's a song on the Blessed album called Father that I did originally with Big Moses.
Yeah.
It's the Frankie Feliciano mix that everyone loves. But I did the song with Big Moses. And when Big Moses called me in the studio, it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I work better at night. At nighttime, it's just always, I don't know what it is about trials and tribulations. I don't know what it is about tears. I'm going to get emotional, and I know it. I am such a waterhead. I don't know what it is about when I go through the hardest times of my life. It seems it brings out the best in me.
Because your soul is raw.
You know what I mean? It's like it's the time where I feel so much more connected to my Father. And at that time in my life, I was going through so much with where I came from. I was born and raised in the church. My mother is a pastor. I come from a line of bishops and pastors. And when I did what we call the gospel house thing, because it's amazing to me how we can preach one thing, and then when you start to utilize what's preached, we don't realize I'm doing what you said, but you're preaching it, but your mind views it as something else. But once it comes to fruition, you don't understand it. You can't get it. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a scripture in the Bible that says that we as representatives or ambassadors for Christ should be a light to the world. The world represents a place of darkness because you have people in the world who are still trying to find their way. How can you be a light to light?
Wow.
Does it make any sense to anybody? You can only be a light in darkness. You taking the gospel to the clubs. You ought to be ashamed of yourself taking Jesus to the club like that. I said, what's amazing to me is that you criticize me for taking Jesus to the club and people take the devil to church all the time. So if they can take the devil to church, why can't I bring Jesus to the club? They really took me through about that. And that's how Father was birthed. The song Father was birthed from that experience. They won't believe in me. You know what they say to me, God? This is what I told God in that basement. I said, you know what they say to me, Moses? He said, what? I said, they say, how can I love someone I can't see?
Wow.
And I said, Father, they don't believe in you. Will you just come down? And he said, I ain't coming down. I got you.
Right. Say it for me.
I got you to represent. You understand? Father was birthed out of that experience. To let people know that listen, I ain't no savior of the world. I'm just an instrument used by God to display to you his love for you and me and for the entire world, to let you know that there are some people who will never step foot inside of a church. Let's just deal with it.
Yes.
They will never step foot inside. They will never hear me, Kenny Bobien, preach a sermon. But they'll hear me sing at the shelter.
Wait, and they will stand still and stay right there in the shelter. Like when that song will come, literally we're standing still.
Yeah.
Like a tree. Like a tree.
Planted
Right?
by the
Planted by
water.
the water. And we would bounce around through the whole song. As soon as you got to stand still, we like.
And that's true. And coffee, and you know what else coffee is? Let me tell y'all this. The thing that I love a lot is that it is an honor to be given such a platform. You understand? Where you can sing and minister to people in places. You understand what I'm saying? Where it's not a fanatical thing. It's not a thing where I'm taking my Bible and grabbing it and shoving it down Antoine TVOS' throat. It's a thing where I'm a witness to make you see that, look at me. Out of all that I've been through, I'm still here. Out of all that's going on in my life, I said, you know, because let me tell you something. Can I be raw?
Oh, we raw in the house of raw. Please keep it raw.
Let me tell y'all something. You are looking at someone who has been through a lot. I've been abused as a child in every way you could possibly believe. Physically, mentally, sexually. You understand? And I look at my life. It had to be God. To go through being raped at 7 years old, to being continuously molested by family members from the time I was 3 years old up until I was 10. You understand? By an uncle and an aunt. Now, guess what? Guess what? I'm about to run through this place. I'm not rejoicing in anybody's calamity, but guess what? Because I know people who have been through only a portion of what I've been through and can't function. Now, I'm the one who's been abused. I'm the one who should have lost. Now, that same aunt and uncle, that uncle don't even know who he is. That aunt is on medication. You couldn't even say, lost their mind. But here I am. I'm still standing. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And I don't wish bad on anyone, but I'm still here. You understand? And it's a testimony. And that's why it means so much to me when I sing songs like Father and You Gave Me Love. You know, and Just Keep Reaching, and Brighter Day. Huh? You Are My Friend. Stand Up and Shout It. You understand what I'm saying? Better. You know, because you just got to know that no matter what's going on in your life, it's going to get better.